Hello and welcome to this virtual training session. The topic for today's presentation is Introduction to Lumira Desktop, and it will be presented by Ruchi Sethi and Saugata Datta. Before we get started, I need to remind everyone that this session is being recorded. In the recorded session, your name may be visible to other people who are viewing the recording. If you have any objections, please disconnect at this time. At the end of the presentation, we will open the lines for questions. Now, I would like to introduce Ruchi to begin the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Abrar. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, the first in the series with the focus on Lumira Desktop. Your presenter today is Saugata Datta, who's a Lumira expert at SAP. Saugata has over 8 years of experience in the BI space. He's helped customers ramp up on Lumira and other BI products and is very passionate about helping improve customers' experience and adopting SAP solutions. My name is Ruchi, and I'll be moderating this interesting webinar, which will last for about 45 minutes or so, followed by a Q&A. Before we get started, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items for the webinar. First is that this webinar is being recorded, as Abrar mentioned, and you'll be able to access the full webinar and the slides on SCN and saplumira.com portal. Information on the availability and accessing the recording will be provided in an email following the presentation. Secondly, we'll be taking questions at the end of the presentation, so please type in your questions in the chat window and we will address them in the end. With that, Saugata, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Ruchi. Hello, everyone. We are going to start with a brief overview of SAP's BI portfolio. Then we will talk about SAP Lumira and how it adds value to your organization, followed by an end-to-end demo of SAP Lumira. At the end, we will share with you what's coming soon in Lumira, and then finish it off with a question and answer session. So as many of you know, that SAP is a recognized leader in business intelligence. We have been doing business intelligence for more than 25 years. And over 80% of the Fortune 500 companies rely on SAP Business Object Solution. SAP has broad portfolio of solutions that offers rapid time to value. SAP Business Objects BI solution supports all type of information access needs, interactivity and analysis needs for different type of business users across your organization, large or small. Most of the popular analysts like Forrester and Gartner rate SAP Business Analytics portfolio in the leader quadrant, right? And SAP also have a vibrant ecosystem, over 7,000 partners with proven track record of success. So when we talk to our customers, we see three different use cases of creating BI content. First, we talk about agile visualization. Is usually for business users and analysts to explore and build their own BI content. Second, we see dashboards and reporting, which is usually for the developer persona then they deploy the dashboards and reports for their users, end users, or larger audience. Now, we're going to talk about reporting. So for reporting, we have two leading reporting tools in the industry, Web Intelligence and Crystal Reports. They allow report designers to quickly build highly formatted reports on any data source and share securely through multiple ways. Webby, in particular, can be used by analysts to create self-service ad hoc reports. That allows minimizing the IT support costs, and also it empowers the end users to easily create and modify their own reports. On the other hand, Crystal, which is mostly used by developers to embed, for instance, to embed in any applications, SAP or non-SAP. And both Webby and Crystal are accessible from mobile, web, and desktop, online or offline. Now, for dashboards, we have Excelsius, which is the historical dashboard product, which we built on the Flash infrastructure. And now we have introduced Design Studio recently, and that is our target tool for developers. So you can think of Design Studio for the developers. We are also working on the interoperability between the documents created by analysts in Lumira and Design Studio, so that analysts can provide a BI content. Then you open it in Design Studio, customize the controls, and add some custom code to apply security and redeploy to a large group of users. Now, our number one use case is, which we are going to focus in today's webinar, is Agile visualization. And this Agile visualization use case is for self-service for business users and analyst type of users. In self-service, we allow analysts to access the data, discover trends and outliers, and tell their story with great visualizations. The tools here are Lumira, Explorer, and for the end users, and Analysis Office for the Office experience. In fact, Analysis Office provides the best SAP BW supports today. And Explorer, which provides fast answer using the search mechanism. We already have interoperability between Lumira and Explorer, so you can think of Lumira as the key product moving forward for the analyst persona. Now, talking about SAP Lumira, which is the best-in-class visualization tool for the business user. It is fast, easy to use, and interactive. You will see that in a minute when we'll do the demo. It provides them real-time answers on any volume of data with SAP HANA. It's very engaging. It allows them to tell their story with the analysis to others. And it's just not desktop. It's also available on cloud and in the mobile devices. It supports various types of data from spreadsheet to big data with geolocation awareness. And for IT, it basically allows them to not to create reports and dashboards. It does not require them to train their business users. And also, it is connected to their enterprise BI landscape. It can leverage all the existing data infrastructure that they have put in place over the period of time, and with all the security and admin services that are in place, right? So it frees their time to do their work on mostly on the back end and system administration, data provisioning, data governance, and those type of activity, rather than just creating reports for the users. So now we're going to dive into Lumira demo. Let me change my screen. So this is SAP Lumira Desktop. And when you launch SAP Lumira Desktop, this is the home screen. It shows you a simple way to how you can acquire data, enrich, visualization, explore, and after that, you can share the findings with your teammates. So we will get started with acquiring data. So for today's demo, I am the analyst of a retail store organization. And my manager has asked me this morning, Sugata, I am noticing the Webby report that I get every day. In that Webby report, I have been noticing that the gross margin is declining. Can you please find why? And can you also tell me how can we fix it? So I then turn into SAP Lumira to find that answer for my manager. So I start acquiring the data set which I know where my IT team has already provisioned that in SAP HANA. You can also see that SAP Lumira not just supports SAP HANA, it also supports Excel, CSV, and if you have BobJ in your landscape, it also supports BobJ Universe. It's not even restricted to that. If you have any other type of databases, such as Oracle, Greenplum, DB2, SQL Server, Netezza, all of those different type of data sources it supports. Most importantly, if you have Hadoop in your infrastructure, and for big data reporting, it does support for Hadoop as well. So now I'm going to get started with the data store that I already have. My IT has already provisioned for me, and I'm going to connect to that data store to start my analysis to see why gross margin is going down. So I connect to SAP HANA system. It shows me the list of packages that's available for my user ID. I say next. And it gives me a preview of all the measures and dimensions in that data set that I just selected. It provides me ability to pick and choose the measures and dimensions that I need for my analysis. But for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to select everything. It also allows me to restrict or filter the data before it hits the query to the database. For example, I can restrict the time window, let's say from and to, before I send the query to the database. So now I'm going to move forward. I'm going to create or acquire the data source. So first we go to Prepare tab, and in this tab, I can quickly preview the data that I just acquired from my HANA database. I know IT already did a very good job provisioning and modeling the data set, so the quality is good. But I can also make some local adjustments to suit my preferences. It also knows what measures and dimensions, as we see already. So if I have to do any enhancement to the data, I can also quickly do that by just selecting, let's say, the column that I wanted to enhance. So on the right-hand side, it provides me the details of the data of this particular column. It provides me the unique number of cities and how many records they have. It also tells me that I can do some simple transformations, such as I can rename the column, I can split the values into two different parts. I can remove the column. I can convert the case from upper to lower, or replace, find something and replace it. So why not I just search for San Francisco, search for San Francisco. And I change it to SF Bay Area, right? And I say apply. So now again, if I go back to city, I should not be seeing San Francisco, right? Instead, I would be seeing SF Bay Area, right? So, but this does not change in the back end. This operation is only on the front end right now. It also allows me to do many other transformation, data transformations. I can also create calculated dimensions and measures. It has a lot of out-of-the-box functions that I can use to create calculated measures and calculated dimensions. Lumira does also provide the ability to merge with few different data sources, and at the same time, it also allows the ability to append with other data sources as well, right? So now I'm going to move to the next step in the prepare, which is the facets. The facets is one of our unique innovations. It provides very fast answer to simple questions. For example, if I want to know what is my highest selling category, I can simply do that by selecting sales revenue. And I want to make sure that I am sorting it on the descending order. And I can see T-shirts is my highest selling product category. Now, if I am curious, where do I sell belts, bags, and wallets? I can just select the value and right click, and it does the associative analytics to tell me where all this product being sold. It looks like we sell them all over the world. So this allows my users, me to find out some quick answers. Now I'm going to start my deep analysis by going to the visualization tab. So in this tab, as you can see on the left, it provides me the ability to pick objects and measures and dimensions. On the top, I can add filters, and on the right, I can pick the chart that I need for my analysis. Right. So now my manager asked me to do the analysis on gross margin. So I would select gross margin. I will add gross margin to the chart. Now, there are three ways you can add measures to the chart. You can just double click it, or you can use this plus sign right here and you can select gross margin, or you can just simply drag and drop. So it provides all the options to add based on your preference to add measures and dimensions into the chart. Now I have added gross margin. I wanted to see how I am doing across the globe, right? So I just double click on country and I can quickly see that US is my most profitable market. But when we are looking at geographical information, bar chart does not really suit. So I needed to probably use a geo chart. But before I do that, I needed to enrich the data. So Lumira provides me a simple ability to create geographical hierarchy. And I don't need to ask IT to do that. I can do that by myself. So it provides two ways to create the hierarchy. One is by names, which means I can provide the city or country name and it recognizes and then creates the hierarchy. Or I can provide latitude and longitude information which creates the hierarchy. In my case, the IT team has already loaded the data with latitude and longitude, so I'm going to use that to create my hierarchy. So I said, okay, map latitude with latitude, and then map longitude with longitude, and then go at the city level, and I say, hit next, I'm ready to go. So now you can see it creates the hierarchy on the left, so why not I start using a geo chart? And Lumira has various types of charts, bar chart, geo chart, table, line charts, tree maps, all of that. We'll be using some of it in today's demo. But let me get started with the analysis. So I'm going to pick geo-chloropod chart. And I'm going to add the hierarchy that I just created. And quickly you can see that it shows me the gross margin across the globe. But I don't really like the color coding it gives me by default. So what do? I go and change the color setting. I would pick the traditional red, yellow, green approach. And I'll say, okay, lower the margin, more reddish. A little higher, more yellowish. And then a little bit above, maybe more bluish. And this one probably lighter green. Lighter green. And this one probably a little bit deeper green. So I said, okay. And you can quickly see that it color codes the map based on my preference. Now, if you want to see the data levels, I can just select the data levels which will be on the map. Now, sometimes what happens is you're not always happy with the data level formatting. You can change that here to pick the formatting that suits your needs. Right? Now, this tells me that again, what we know that United States is where my most profitable market. So now what I'm planning to do is I wanted to see the last few quarters. I want to zone down to last few quarters where my gross margin is going down. So I would say take year and quarter, and I add that to the filter. And you can see that it provides me an option to select values to filter. Here are various options. For example, you can keep the values you wanted to select. You can also exclude the values that you don't want to select in your chart. You can sort these selections, ascending or descending, or you can see the number of records associated with each type of value. So I'm going to select last few quarters. And I hit OK. So I do still see that US is my good market for gross margin wise. So what I'm now going to do is to see how US is doing for the last few quarters in terms of gross margin. So what I'm going to do now is to add the year quarter into the trails chart. And it will give me a breakdown. So let me maximize my screen so that you can see it a little bigger. And it gives me a breakdown of how US is doing quarter over quarter, right, on the map. So starting from Q3, and when I scroll down, I can see that the color is fading for US. So that clearly tells me that for the last two quarters, the gross margin has been declining steadily. So I can focus my analysis on the last 4 to 3 quarters moving forward. So I'm going to save this. Now I'm going to add another chart, and I can come back to my design mode. And in the new chart, what I'm going to do now is to add quantity sold, how much quantity is sold across the product, right? So I'll add quantity sold. Again, I will restrict the data set by the last few quarters. And now I'm going to add the product lines and seeing which product line is not doing well. I can clearly see that there is a drop in this layer, leather, outerwear, and whatever. So I'm going to select that area and say filter. It will zoom down, and I can see leather is the worst performing product category. So we needed to see what's going on with leather. So I'm going to select leather again. And now I'm going to add the year quarter to see how, oh, wow. So now we can see that the sales for leather is steadily declining quarter over quarter. This is not really a good sign. We may have found the reason why sales are declining. So now at the same time, if I wanted to add the customer satisfaction data to see what customers are thinking when our sales are going down. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new chart. And in this chart, I'm going to add the customer satisfaction measure. These are two different type of measures, quantity sold and customer satisfaction. So we needed to create a line chart with two axes. So what I'm going to do here in the y-axis, now I'm going to add the customer satisfaction and to add quarter, and that shows me the trend over a period of time. So this is clearly the problem. So Lumira allows me to go do analysis of the data set that we have, found the root cause of the problem, and it also allows me to kind of highlight, okay, this is where we need to fix the issue. So now I wanted to know who are the managers that's working in the United States for this category. So I will go and filter again with US. I can quickly search for US. and then add manager into the legend color. And I can see now that there are two managers working on it, James Frank and Leah Armand. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to tell my manager, please reach out to this managers to fix the problem. So before I do that, I'm going to create my storyboard. So Lumira allows me to tell these findings in a story. I can compose the story based on all the visualization that I just did. So I'm going to simply drag and drop the visualization in my storyboard. And I'm going to add that. It also allows me to add comments. So now for storyboard, it allows me to provide, give a title to the page, so I can clearly see that leather sales are declining, right? And then I can also say gross margin across region. Regions, and I can give a name to my story as sales analysis. And here what I'm going to do is I'm going to add country as my input control. So when I'm going to select a particular country, for example, if I select India, and it tells me the story of India. This, the margin is also declining in India steadily, right? So at the same time, if I go here, it also allows me to add titles, add custom font, background colors to the story, add background images to the story. So, and I'm going to add manager as another input control. And we already noticed James Frank. I can filter James Frank, and I can see the performance is not good enough for us to get back on track. It would also allows me to put some text, so my boss can see what I am saying. So I will say, please review leather sales declining. So now I'm ready to share this analysis with my manager. I can just say view. Before I send that, I just make sure that I have all the things. Yes, so now I'm ready to share my visualization. Save this. Now I select this, and I can share it with to the SAP Lumira cloud using my ID. And I'm ready to share this. So I have already published this storyboard into the cloud. So let's take a look at from cloud. So Lumira Cloud can be accessible via web and also via our mobile app. So my boss logs in, my manager logs in via web and start looking at the findings that I have just shared with him. So he pulls up the report and he sees what I have just shared with him, and he knows that the leather sales is declining, so he needed to reach out to the manager. So what he's going to be doing now, the share, and to Dia and say, please review. And fix the problem. So this is how Lumira helps us to quickly find, analyze and quickly find the problem, and then share that findings to our to others, and also it allows us to take action on that findings. Now, SAP Lumira Mobile app, which is available from the iTunes Store, is the app that you need to use if you want to consume Lumira content on the tablet. It's one-stop shop for all the different type of applications that we have, including Webby, Dashboard, Lumira Cloud, Design Studio, etc. and etc. So with that, now I'm going to go back to the slides. So just to recap, in today's demo, what we have seen, we acquire data, then we use the transformation to do a simple transformation, and after that we started visual analysis to find the root cause of the problem. And finally, we shared our findings to the manager. Right? So in acquisition, as you have seen that the acquisition is just not restricted to SAP HANA. You can acquire data or from various type of data sources. And you have also seen that in the transformations, there are so many transformations that are available to cleanse the data, add custom groupings, and etc. For sharing, even though we did not publish the data set to HANA or save it to the business objects platform, but I just want to highlight that these functionalities are available in Lumira. Now, what we are currently working on? We are currently working on is direct BW connectivity from Lumira desktop. So customer has been telling us that we needed to accommodate direct BW connectivity. So currently, that's what we are working on. We are also releasing the Lumira, we'll be releasing soon the Lumira server powered by HANA. It runs natively on HANA. It takes advantage of the full computational capability of HANA. And finally, we are also going to be releasing the publishing capability to business objects platform. For the Mac users, we are also going to release Lumira for the Mac, and we are working very closely, and a lot of innovations are coming on the big data supports. So that's what we are planning to do in the near future. Now, just to recap again, is Lumira, what we have seen today, that Lumira desktop, where analysts creates the visualizations, find answers, and then publish that into Lumira Cloud, which then can be consumed via web or mobile. Similarly, that would soon be possible on the on-premise deployment when we would release the Lumira server, which you can see on the right-hand side of the quadrant, where Lumira desktop can be connected to Lumira server, which is deployed on HANA platform. So with that, I can also okay. So with that, I think we can now open this for Q&A.
Thank you. To ask a question at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. A voice prompt on your phone line will indicate when your line is open to ask a question. Please state your name before posing your question. Once again, please press star 1 to ask a question. We will now take our first question. Please go ahead.
Yes, hello. My name is Bijan. Thank you very much for the excellent presentation and demo. It was very, very useful. My question is regarding the different versions of Lumira. I know there's a personal edition and there's a desktop edition. Can you tell us a little bit about what the differences are? I actually have Lumira version 1.15, and I noticed as you were going through the demo, I noticed some differences between the user interface on what I have and what you were using. So I'd be curious to know what the differences are at a high level. Thank you.
Sure. So Lumira Desktop has two editions, Personal Edition and the Standard Edition. The difference between personal edition and standard edition is the type of data sources it supports. For personal edition, it only supports Excel CSV and SAP HANA 1. For standard edition, it supports all the data sources that you have seen. That includes HANA on-premise, Excel, CSV, Business Objects Universe. It also supports all the other databases like Oracle DB2 and Hadoop 5 and all of that. So that's the difference in terms of connectivity. Regarding SP15 that we have released in, I think, last week, we also released the patch 15.1. So I strongly suggest to go and get that patch because that has lot of fixes. And yes, we are continuously improving the user experience. That is where we are investing a lot to make sure that we are getting better in the user experience. So you will see some changes from each SP.
So Sugata, are there any differences between the personal and the standard edition for the audience? If you want to highlight in terms of what they need to purchase, what's available for trial?
Right. So personal edition is free.
Okay.
Free forever.
Okay.
And standard edition is free for 30 days.
Okay.
And after 30 days, we can purchase it from saplumira.com.
Okay. Good to know. Did that answer your question, Bijan?
Yes, thank you very much.
We have another question. Please go ahead.
Hey, hi, this is Avinash. And thanks for the information about Lumira. It's great. And I've been working with Lumira for almost a month now, and I have a few questions regarding the Lumira cloud. Go for the connect with HANA, the second option in your create new, the new data set. Your third option is download from SAP HANA, and the second option is connect with Lumira. So in that, I don't find Lumira cloud when I share. So, are you coming up with the next releases with that?
No, so Lumira Cloud is my deployment and sharing option. So what I do is the workflow is like this. Actually, first let me give you a breakdown the two type of connectivity that you just mentioned. So there are two ways to connect to SAP HANA, right? First is online connections, which means it maintains the live connections throughout your analysis, right? And the second option is download option, which we used in the demo. Is basically it queries HANA database and then brings the data into Lumira desktop locally. Now, Lumira Cloud, let me actually go back, it probably be helpful. It's basically it's a deployment option for me to share the stories and share the data set. So this is Lumira Cloud. It's totally on web. So what I am actually doing is when I'm done with my stories, I create the stories using any local data sources that you would have, and then you can select this and say publish this story and the data set to Lumira Cloud, and then it returns. What it does is it publishes the story and the data sets in the cloud for any users who has internet connections that you can give access to. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I got this, but then this is through download from HANA, right? The option which you have chosen is download from HANA.
You can choose any options. So in my demo, I choose HANA, but you can, for example, if your data source is not HANA, right? You can pick any of the options. So
when I tried with connect to HANA, the third option, I was not able to see share to the Lumira cloud. I'm able to see only Lumira server.
So this is the reason is because this is basically maintains an online connection.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the reason it does not allow you to share the data set to the cloud. But if you choose any other option, where you bring the data locally, then it would allow you to share the data set to cloud.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. And go for the next question, or I'll have to wait for some more time for the others to.
Yeah, did that answer your question, Abhinav? And Sugata, we are going to have some more feature sets coming for cloud, right? In terms of editing stories and all.
Right.
We'll have a webinar covering that aspect of it. But did that answer your question? Can we move on to another one, or did you have a follow-up question?
Yeah, I have a question for the Lumira server access. What about the access for the Lumira server? I mean, how are you going to provide for that?
So it's not yet released. It would be released pretty soon, and we will communicate at that time. It's very standard process the way you get SAP software via the service marketplace. So once we release that, it would also be visible in service marketplace for download.
Yeah, it's coming very soon. We just can't commit on the timeline, but it should be out very soon.
Okay. And regarding the customization, because I was working on this customization of Start as well, using the packet quiz. So what are the different languages it supports? Like, I think it supports D3, and what are the other languages does it support?
Yes, you are right. Actually, we do have a webinar for the SDK and custom extension for probably next event.
Yeah, it's planned for the next webinar in line is on chart extensions and SDK, so you'll get more information there. Would that work?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Thank you.
We'll now move to our next question. Please go ahead.
Hello, this is Matthias. Thanks for the presentation. My question is regarding Android support. Are there any plans to include the Business Objects app for Android in the near future?
We have got these requirements. We are currently looking into this. At this point of time, I cannot provide you a detailed plan, but definitely that's on our radar.
Okay, thanks.
We will take another question. Please go ahead.
I see one question on the chat by Peter. Do you have a roadmap or timeline for BI and Design Studio integration?
We currently, as I think when I mentioned about that, we are currently looking into or working through the interoperability between the Lumira and Design Studio. But we don't have a timeline yet that I can share at this point. All I can share at this point is that we are working through it, and we will be, maybe in the next webinar or so, we can kind of give you a sense of the timeline.
Okay, another question here on security from Mani.
Hello, I'm Mani. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. See, when you are acquiring the data from the server, you are downloading the data on the desktop, right?
Yes.
So what's about the security aspect? Will you download the data on your desktop?
So when you mean to say that I have a local copy of the database of the data?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Okay. So basically what it does, it packages the data and the visualization, right? So that's basically what we have in place right now. So every time you open the document that you have already created with the local copy of the data, it then reloads the data set into the Sybase IQ, which is running as an embedded database. But the security aspect, it basically encrypts and creates a package, and that's basically your lumps file.
Okay, so it's an encrypted thing.
Yes.
Okay. Another thing, when you were publishing the data or sharing the data, there was an option called Publish with Explorer, right?
Yes.
If I'm correct.
Yes.
So what does it mean, Publish with Explorer?
So what does it mean is basically when you publish to Explorer, it creates info space in Explorer info space in the BI platform.
Are you familiar with Explorer, Mani?
Yeah. Okay. Because normally the customers ask, actually I'm from GD, so normally the customer will ask me about this security aspect when you're downloading the data. So that's why I asked about the encryption thing. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
So we have another question here from Ritesh. Hello, are you releasing the Mac OS compatibility client?
We are actually currently doing a beta of Lumira Desktop on Mac. So if you are interested, you can reach out to Ruchi. We can, have you tried Lumira on Mac?
Okay, another question from Ritesh. Our main reason for not yet using Lumira is not compatibility with Mac. So Ritesh, please reach out to me and I can share with you some details via email that may be able to help you. We have a question from Hyas. Does Lumira include some type of authorization to share some story with certain users. So he's basically saying that he just wants to selectively share with a group of users. Is that a possible option?
Yes. As you can see in my screen, you can pick and choose the users that you want to share. Okay. And you can also provide the rights, view or edit. So in this case, it's only view because the user that I'm using is not the owner of this.
Nice, very nice. Then we have a question from Joaquin. Is Lumira server going to allow scheduling the distribution of Lumira documents through BI platform?
What we are planning on is to have Lumira content also available for consumption from the BI platform. That's what we are currently working on. So what it means is, if you already have a BI landscape where each of your users going and consuming their reports, dashboards, and Webby and all of that, very soon they would also be able to consume Lumira content from BI platform.
But but what he's asking is, would we be able to schedule some distribution to the server on the platform?
Scheduling piece, no, not in the first release. No. So not in the first release. We basically what Lumira server architecturally, it is running natively on HANA. Mm-hmm. So every time you refresh a Lumira document, it's the real-time data. Mm-hmm. So the need for scheduling is not as prevalent as for the other data sources.
So Joaquin, if that's an idea from you or that's a need, please feed into Lumira experts. You'll have the email address on saplumira.com, and then it'll be added to the idea list if if it's something that you desire and it's going to be useful to you. Next, we have a question from Rajesh. Is publishing to BIP same as Lumira Cloud? If not, what's the difference between Lumira Server, Cloud, and BIP?
Very good question. So BIP stands for Business Objects Platform. So there are, I think, so many customers who are using Business Objects Platform today for their BI needs. So Lumira, basically, you have the ability to kind of publish your content to BIP. That's the Business Objects Platform. Lumira Cloud is our SaaS solution, which is on demand on the cloud. So which means it don't have to be in your data center. You can just subscribe Lumira Cloud and give access to your users. It's a subscription-based model. Mm-hmm. And Lumira Server, which we have not released yet, we will be releasing very soon. That's the server version which runs natively on HANA. So if you have SAP HANA in your landscape, then you can use SAP Lumira Server. You can deploy SAP Lumira Server very soon and take full advantage of HANA.
Yeah. Maybe we'll, Rajesh will probably have a session which is going to clarify the difference between cloud, server, and desktop, and what can you do on each of the platform areas. But servers, like Sugata just highlighted, is mostly for sharing within the enterprise, and cloud is subscription-based, and it's more taking care of the infrastructure cost as well, right, for the HANA piece, right? Okay. I hope that answers your question. If not, please type into the chat window or send us an email, and I'll provide the email address just shortly. Next, we have a question from Peter, follow-up on the security. When HANA online mode is analytic authorization,
it's support, yeah.
It's especially, yes. Yeah. What form of universe, yeah.
Yes, that is true. It supports the analysis authorizations that being set up in the HANA there.
Okay, I hope that answers your question, Peter. A question from Bijan. When will Lumira allow currency symbols to be displayed? It doesn't seem to have the capability right now.
Okay, we can take that as a feedback.
Yeah. We'll take that as a feedback and provide that to the product owners. Then we have a question from Shirish. Current Lumira is memory intensive. Is it memory intensive?
Can you actually, if you still there, can you speak a little bit about it, why you are saying it's memory intensive? I would like to understand what.
Shirish, Sugata wants to know, do you have a reason to believe it's memory intensive, or is it just a question because of the large data set? Maybe we'll wait for Shirish to type in a few more details. We'll jump on to Rajesh. Next question, also, can we expect a live connection to Universe similar to HANA Live?
We got that requirement as a feedback from our customers as well. It is true that we don't have that today, live connections to SAP Universe, but that is something we are working on. And you should be able to see that in near future.
Okay. Peter, another question on security. Thanks. Does it respect role-level security when downloading from the Universe?
Basically, it does the query. So to the Universe layer, right? So it uses the business objects user ID and password that you have set up. So it uses that authorization. So if that authorization is set up for role-level security, it would automatically be adhered on
There's
the
a single sign-on to that. Okay. Okay. Peter, thanks. Sirish, we're still waiting to hear from you. Anybody else has questions on the line? I think we are done with questions on the chat for now.
We will now move to our next telephone question. Please go ahead.
Yes, hi, my name is Bijan. I asked another question before. I think my question has already been answered. My question was really mainly around differences between Lumira Cloud and the desktop version. I've used both, and it looks like Lumira Cloud gives you ability to create visualizations in Lumira Cloud as well. But I was just curious, what is the recommendation for creating visualizations? I know Lumira Cloud seems to be more for sharing the visualization, but it also gives you ability to create visualizations. So what are the main differences between what you can visualize in Lumira Cloud versus what you can visualize in Lumira Desktop?
So as you see that Lumira Desktop is for analysts, you can do a lot. You can acquire data, transform, cleans, and all of that you cannot do in cloud. So cloud is typically my sharing platform. So if you want to share it with others who are not part of your network, like for example your partners, that would be a good use case. Or if you don't have an enterprise platform ready to go, you can also use cloud as a deployment option. So I would say cloud is basically for your sharing, but content creation, Lumira Desktop is what we recommend.
Thank you.
So I have a question here from Hires. Will there be an option to extract data from SAP ERP queries onto Lumira? I think we currently do have that option.
We do have that. I'm going to actually quickly show that. So show all. And you can see here, we have added the JCO connectivity.
Okay, I hope that answers your question, Hires. Any other question on the line? We are just 2 minutes short of concluding the call, the webinar.
Yes, we'll move to another telephone question. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Caller, your line is open.
The last question on the chat window, personal and enterprise cloud account. More on this is the information that Avinash Raju is looking for.
Yeah, so enterprise cloud account is basically team licenses, so which means a group of people in your organization or your organization or your partners. So that's mostly for enterprise, and personal is just a single user.
Okay. So we'll take one more question before we end the webinar.
Please go ahead, caller. Your line is open. Please go ahead, caller. Your line is now open.
I think I'm done with the question. I just typed down the message. This is Avinash.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks everyone for attending today's webinar. We look forward to your input, feedback, and seeing you again in the coming weeks.
Thank you.
On behalf of the SAP and KNES team, I would like to thank Ruchi and Saugata. We would also like to ask you to provide your feedback using the link displayed in the chat window. This now concludes the presentation. Thank you for your attention. You may disconnect at this time. Thank you.